Thank you.
And to see Shelley.
Yes.
And if it's possibly Rachel. Oh, and I reckon and Annabelle. Oh, this is like the old crew from Fridays.
Yes, this is the old crew, and Sally's here as well. So, and just to let you know, we're live streaming on Facebook. So if you do want to turn your camera off and don't want to be on Facebook, we're also live streaming on YouTube, but YouTube can't see you. So you're not on YouTube, but if you don't want to be on Facebook, you need to just turn your camera off. But the beauty of working in this way is that you can send me questions, you can participate, you can talk to me. So it's so heartwarming to see you all here. Thank you so much, and a huge welcome.
Sorry, Jenny,
it would be terrible for you to be on your own.
Thank you.
What's that message from Wendy, who's asking you a question?
Wendy's asking me a question. Oh my goodness! Now I've got 4 media going. I can't get into the Zoom. Is the right place for live book? Okay, right. So she's got 2 things: either Facebook or Zoom. So Zoom, you join using the numbers. Thank you, Annabelle. Right, this is great. And if anybody is on YouTube looking at me, you can text. So anybody on YouTube can text it. Okay, let's start in the way that we usually start, which is we're just going to do a 3-step breathing space. And then we're going to pick I've got a theme which I'd like to talk about, and then we'll have a longer meditation. And if you are on Zoom and you want to participate in the Q&A or give any comments or anything like that, that's possible through Zoom. If you're watching Facebook live streamed or YouTube live streamed, you need to use text and direct messages. So thank you for being here, and just when you're ready, drop into stillness. So feet flat on the floor, bum on the seat. Allow your shoulders to drop. Allow yourself to come to stillness. Move your attention inside and down. Some people, if you've lost the habit of practice, you can find it helpful just to go a bit deeper with your breathing for 1 or 2 breaths. So just pull in a bit stronger than you would normally, push out a bit stronger than you would normally. Do that 1 more time, just to really help your mind settle. If you've had a busy Monday, just notice all the hurly-burly that's inside of you. Maybe you'll notice after these few short minutes that your mind has gone someplace. If that's away from the meditation, bring your mind back to the meditation. If your mind has naturally settled within the meditation to a specific place, so often that is the nose or the belly or the ground or your hands, really allow yourself to settle in whatever place your mind has landed. So as your mind lands, everything else can just drop away. And when you're ready, take one or two slightly deeper breaths. If you'd like to, yawn, stretch, wiggle, whatever brings you back to sort of a sense of being present and being relaxed and ready to take on a few more ideas. I've been thinking a lot about what to talk about today because obviously it feels like a big deal. It feels like we're cutting the ribbon on a new adventure together. So I wanted to start with something very important and meaningful. And I've called this losing your thoughts or loosening your thinking. So very often we talk about, oh, just let it go, just let go. And I think that those words, letting go, can be problematic. You know, it's really hard to let go. So I just want to think about today just losing our thoughts, you know, not getting lost in our thoughts, but losing our thoughts. Just, whew, they go. And I'm going to suggest that there's some experiments that we can do, and I'm going to ask you to do them with me now. You can do these with your eyes open, with your eyes closed, and in any way that seems to make sense for you. But these are what I'd call thought experiments. So thought experiment number one is imagine that you are a brain surgeon. So just think, I am a brain surgeon. And I want you to notice what thoughts you have around that statement. I am a brain surgeon. And also notice what feelings you have about the statement, I am a brain surgeon. And also think about your body response to the thought, I am a brain surgeon. So, I am a brain surgeon. How do you feel? How do you think? What happens when I tell you you're a brain surgeon? Okay, so next thought experiment is I want you to think, I'm an airline pilot. I am an airline pilot. Now what thoughts do you have? And what feelings do you have? And what body response do you have? So firstly, I asked you to say, I am a brain surgeon. And now I am a jet fighter pilot. I'm a pilot. And anybody who's on the call who's not English or British might not recognize the next one, but I want you to say, I am a lollipop lady. And for those who are watching from another country, lollipop ladies are at the intersection with a zebra crossing, and they take the little kiddies across the road to make sure that they are safe. So just think for a moment, I am a lollipop lady, and notice what thoughts you have, what feelings you have, and what body response you have. I'm just getting messages through, so I'm just responding. Okay, so I asked you to be a brain surgeon, a jet fighter pilot, and a lollipop lady. And the next question is it true? So I gave you the thought, I am a jet fighter pilot. Is it true? I gave you the thought, I am a lollipop lady. Is it true? Yet, you might have noticed that even though it wasn't true, something happened. In some small way, something occurred, something manifested, something came about. If I told you you're a brain surgeon, maybe suddenly you got scared about the responsibility or, the scariness of being a brain surgeon, the responsibility of being a brain surgeon. And I've done this thought experiment with you to demonstrate the power these things have on us, whether they are true or not. So your brain does not differentiate between a thought that is true and a thought that is not true. Yet we have the capacity to hold on to thoughts as if they are reality. Our thoughts are not our reality. Our thoughts are simply our thoughts. And they have a really powerful effect on us. It's through our thoughts we design our life. It's because of our thinking that we have these sorts of relationships, not these sorts of relationships. It's because of our thoughts we pursue certain careers or we pursue certain hobbies or activities. So our thoughts are literally shaping our lives. And sometimes our thoughts are also the iron bars of a cage. And we don't even know it. We just do not even see it because we think that our thoughts are real and we think that our thoughts are true. So this is why I'm inviting us tonight to sort of enter a different space and a different relationship with our thoughts, to literally loosen our thinking about our thinking. And I'm going to misquote a very beautiful poet. His name's Khalil Gibran, and he actually he's from the Sufi faith, I believe, and he lived as a street hobo in Boston for a long time, but he wrote the most beautiful poetry. And there is a poem called Children, and he talks about children. And I'm sorry I've messed around with his beautiful poetry, but I just want you to have this as your thought about this. Your thoughts are not your thoughts. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing. Now, he's used that phrase in a different context and to talk about different things. But this idea of your thoughts are not your thoughts. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing. And I've found that incredibly powerful and incredibly helpful, even though it's my It's my makeup of his poetry. As you all know, I'm a great fan of Sam Harris, the philosopher and neuroscientist. And so I want to just read you what Sam Harris says about this subject. He says, "You have spent most of your life lost in thought. That is, thinking without recognizing thought itself as a process, and therefore not recognizing what the mind is prior to identification with thought." So what he's saying is we take thought and we identify with it. We grab hold of it. And this status quo is the basis of all your suffering. It's the mechanism by which disappointment and worry and regret and anger and sadness color your life. And you're extraordinarily likely to spend the rest of your life in this condition unless you look deeply into the matter. So this is why I talk about our thoughts as being constructed, and it can construct our iron bars of the cage in which we live. So I don't want us to think that thinking is not helpful. Of course, some of the thinking that we do keeps us safe, keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us in relationship with other people. So, of course, some of our thinking is hugely important. But particularly those thoughts which are around who we are, what we are, they are the ones that can grip us most tightly. Those sorts of thoughts can become part of our self-identity, and they can limit our potential. They can limit the things that we are prepared to do. They are limiting of the things that we are prepared to even consider. And so I'll list some of mine. So if you ask me, the thoughts that I self-identify, so I have fused with the thoughts that I can't sing or dance. I have fused with the thought that I am not able to draw. And I have fused with the thought that learning another language other than English, I'm not good at that. And so you can see how the minute I have those thoughts that I have stopped investigating, I've stopped experimenting with those things, I've literally held myself back. Now, I'm not pretending as some sort of new age guru that if I just throw myself into singing and dancing, I can be the next Beyonce. You know, if I just let my inner artist come out, I'd be the next Picasso. I don't believe that we've all got that sort of potential. But I do understand that every choice I make to fuse with a thought is a choice that I am making to what's often called selfing. It means I'm constructing myself. I am making myself into a thing. And as soon as I do that, as soon as I'm one thing, I'm not another thing. And it is possible to begin to dissolve some of these thoughts, to dissolve some of these beliefs about ourselves. And so in the meditation that we're about to do, I want to invite you to work in one of two ways, depending on how deep you want to go. The first thing is to, as you notice a thought arising, to just loosen your grip on that thought and to go behind the thought. So look at what might be behind the thought, what might be constructing that thought, what might be behind it. And then if you feel uncomfortable sort of going behind something, then just stay with the thought and touch it very gently, but notice how if you challenge it in a very gentle and loving way, it might burst. So hold the idea that this is a thought, and you might be able to burst the bubble of that thought. And the way that we can do that is we can interject the idea of, I notice I'm having the thought that. So that loosens the grip of the thought on us. So as thoughts arise, either go behind them and try and catch thoughts before they really bloom, or stay with the thoughts and just begin this simple notation of saying, I notice I'm having the thought, and fill in the thought, and then just return to your breath. Okay, so we're going to do about 20 minutes of guided, very lightly guided meditation. And then I'll open it up for any comments or anything that you notice towards the end. So just sit with your bum on the chair, feet flat on the floor. Lovely to see people on YouTube. I can see we've got different audiences on different computers, so just recognizing that. So when we've got our eyes closed, our bum relaxed, you can feel yourself sink down. Let your feet get heavy. Let your shoulders get heavy. Let your hands get heavy. For this meditation, I'm going to suggest you place your attention in your nose or in your nostrils. So it's just seems a natural place for attention to rest when you're dealing with thoughts. So without getting sort of tense and without going cross-eyed, because that is sometimes the effect of going to the nose or the nostrils. So it's a very light concentration or focus. Before you even know it, thoughts have come and they've taken you over. So just return to the breath. Don't get disparaged. Don't get put off or down on yourself about this. This is quite a sophisticated thing to try and do. So you're on the breath, on the breath, on the breath. And then something happens. Notice the thought arising. I'm having the thought. Allows you to disconnect and return to the breath. As you get more and more settled, you might notice, for example, that you can stay fully embodied and you can literally see thoughts as ping pong balls or I forget the name of the balls that dance around in slot machines. They just zap around. So it's almost like you're untouched by the thoughts because you can remain embodied. So pay no attention to those thoughts. Really loosen your grip. It's almost like you lose the capacity to think or to pay attention to the thinking because everything is just poured into your embodied sense. And in this way, we kind of continue thinking, or we continue having thoughts, but the thoughts have lost all their meaning. We've literally lost. We're losing thinking. If you're sleepy after a long day and this sort of meditation is encouraging you to zone out, once again, just increase the pressure of the in-breath as a way of helping the body to remain engaged and remain energetic. And notice too what happens when you loosen the grippiness of these thoughts. when you kind of stop believing them, or you just change your relationship to them. You hold them more lightly. You allow them to pass through you more quickly. Notice where your attention is. So in the last few moments of this practice, perhaps just reflecting on how it was to not believe your thoughts, particularly not believe the thoughts about yourself, who you are, what you are, how you are, where you are, what you should be. What's it like to really loosen the grip of those thoughts? Begin to pay attention to the environment in which you're sitting. So notice sounds, notice atmosphere, warmth. Notice proximity of your body to walls or ceiling or floor or other human beings. Get a sense again of time and location. And maybe take 1 or 2 slightly deeper breaths. If you'd like to rub your hands together to generate some heat, if like me you're sitting in a cold room, then you can use the heat across your eyes and across your face. Just as a nice way of refreshing your face. Otherwise you can stretch or yawn. And when you're ready, come back to eyes open. So we're going to close in a minute. On Facebook Live and on Zoom, I just want to put up a slide which is the events and the future opportunities you have to come here and practice live with me. Other ways of staying in touch with me, you can find me on LinkedIn, you can join my mailing list, look at my website, mindfulness@hinton.uk, or just email me at jenny@hintonbarn.com. I've got retreats coming up on the 15th and 12th of November. They're approximately a day long, so they're 3/4 of a day. I've got a new residential retreat coming up on the 2nd to the 5th of December, which is a long weekend. And of course, those of you who know me already know that I have Friday night at 7 p.m. in person. So if you'd like to log off, now's the time for you to do so. But if you would like to chat, send me texts or just unmute your microphone if you want to come on live. None of this is being recorded, but it is going out to Facebook Live, so people will be able to see us. So yeah, happy to take comments any way you like, or you can just seamlessly move into the next part of your evening if that suits you better. And for those of you who are on YouTube, I'm monitoring the chat if there are things that you'd like to ask me, and we can have a dialogue. Mary, hi.
Hi, I really enjoyed the exercise.
Which, the pilot, the brain surgeon, the lollipop lady?
Yeah.
And so what happened for you? Tell me the response that came up inside of you.
Well, I'm quite a visual person, so I could see what looked like a long sausage, but obviously I'd unravelled the brain very quickly with my mind, and just thought it was hilarious if I was qualified to be trying to fix and mend it.
Yeah, so this sense of humour that you had, did you feel it physically? Was it in your body?
Yeah, it was a real struggle not to laugh my head off at the mere thought of it.
Yeah.
So I really badly laughed if I was sat in your studio in the barn.
Right. So there you are. The power of words made you want to giggle and laugh, and so here we are, responding to thoughts very, very quickly. As it happens, it was a response that's joyful and helpful and contributes to living a good life because you're having fun with the idea. But the idea is that sometimes the thoughts are not helpful and we don't end up laughing at them. Thank you, Mary. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too, Jenny. I love the I love the exercise. In response to the brain surgeon one, I thought, oh, that's great. I could do that.
I could do that. I could be a
felt quite
surgeon.
excited about it. But the pilot one, I really felt a very visceral sense of fear because I don't like heights, and I thought, no, and you don't really process these things. You just know that you don't really like flying or whatever. But it made me feel it, which was really good. And the same with the lollipop lady. I thought, oh no, I could see I had a humorous vision of me running down the street to get away.
Getting
Get
away
away.
from the kids.
And the lollipop, yeah.
Yeah. Carrying your lollipop away with you. Yeah. So this is just really lovely to hear that such simple ideas, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Yeah. And it helps us to see this crazy relationship we have with our thinking. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you back, Sally. Thank you.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you and everybody else.
How was the practice for you this evening?
It was good. I've not done this with you for a while, so it took me a while. But once I got into it, it was really it was really good. I especially the second meditation. I was right there. It was very good.
Nice.
I could really I was really able to just connect with myself, I suppose, would be a simple way of saying it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And somehow go behind the thoughts or connect to ourselves beyond thinking. Is the encouragement I'm trying to make here, is that it's possible. We're never going to stop. Boop, 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 pop. But somehow in the meditation, we can become embodied and rooted, and we can just watch these things and not grab them. So nice. Thank you.
Yeah, it followed the exercise in a way, in that I was able to connect in a different way, I suppose. More of a letting go than a holding on or a responding without realizing, if you like.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And I've got something on chat here. Helping my mind whilst I wait to find out if I have a new job, which is a torturous wait. Yes, I've put those dagger thoughts back in the chopping block, so to speak, pop bubble, and put it away. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you very much.
Jenny.
Yes, hi, Shirley.
Jenny, is the interaction like the sharing, the experience can be hard, can be audible in the Facebook?
Yes, I think so. I haven't yet seen what comes out the other end, but I think that's why I'm making you aware that we're live streaming to Facebook, so that you don't share something that you don't want to be on Facebook.
Yeah, okay.
But it will not be recorded, I don't believe, on Facebook. So, but I've got this live stream here on YouTube, which is recorded. So it's we just need to get used to it, Shelley. And so please don't share anything that you don't feel comfortable sharing.
I just that's the reason I asked.
Yeah.
And also I'm trying to think the technology behind that, but not quite sure yet, but maybe the link later on, which part audible to like interactive, then I can figure out.
Yes.
I have, this is it's a very wonderful teaching. This evening, it resonates 100% with me today, because I left my daughter in Swansea University yesterday.
Oh, you left your daughter at Swansea University. Wow.
I made it that far. Yeah, I'm very proud of myself. But lots of thought, lots of doubt, fighting between head and heart.
Yes.
Heart is saying one thing, head is saying another thing, and habitual thought patterns. So this exercise is wonderfully resonates with mine. Yeah, so I had some harsh voice. I had shared with you previously, a really harsh voice. But how the evening practice was to touch it gently
Yes.
and see it. And with the quote, I notice I'm having thought that.
I'm having a thought that, yes.
Yeah, it's a very, it's not unusual because that's my main techniques,
Yeah.
listening thoughts so far. But yeah, sometimes the emotion behind the thought is strong, and sometimes it's not strong. This evening it was strong, then it loosened up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the good experience that I see it strong and I see it loosening up. But right now I didn't try going behind the thought,
Yep.
so I left it for later on.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a wise choice. When you're feeling really sensitive, don't try and go too deep. Stay with that very simple practice of I notice I'm having the thought that, and then go back to the breath, back to the breath, back to the breath. I notice I'm having the thought. That keeps you safe.
Yeah.
But it's still very helpful as well.
Yeah.
Good. Lovely. Thank you. So I'm going to close the live stream on YouTube because thank you for the thumbs up. I've got a thumbs up. I'm going to end that just so I've got all my technology going